Hi everyone. Today I want to talk to you about using methods and following methods designed by other people, written by other people that worked for them. For example, talking about morning routines. So, there are actually quite a lot of different methods. There are a lot of different people that say different things, and they may all be true and it may all work, but it worked for them. And it worked for them because they are the people that designed that morning routine. And that's the morning routine that's efficient for them, which doesn't mean that it's going to be efficient for you. And that's the big mistake that a lot of people make. So, finding out different methods or finding out how different people do their morning routines is a good way to get inspiration. It's a good way to find out what kind of different methods or ways exist, but it doesn't mean that you should stick exactly to that method of just one person, because everything that's been invented has been invented by a person, by somebody that didn't know about this or heard about it from somebody else. It came up in them, and that's because it worked for them. So what's important, if you, for example, want to have a morning routine that works for you, is to find out what you need. For example, I like to talk about my own experiences to give good examples of what I live with, and I know what I live with, there's a lot of other people that live with it, or partially. Like, there's always things different because we're all different people. So, for example, for me, I don't put an alarm clock unless I really, really know that I need to teach early in the morning and I really need to wake up early, because obviously I don't want to be late. That's one of the things that for me is very important, one of my values, which is being on time. Because for me, that's respect and that's discipline towards yourself and towards other people. So if I don't have to wake up very early, then I make sure I don't put an alarm clock on. And that means that some days I wake up a little later and some days I wake up a little earlier. But the positive thing is that I wake up always, almost always, rested well, because there's not an alarm clock waking me up. Also, I go to bed on time each night. And not because it's like, oh no, it's 9 o'clock, I need to go to bed. It's because my body's asking that of me. My eyes are tired. I just want to sleep. My body wants to sleep. My body wants to rest. And that's another thing as well. I sleep at least 9 hours a night without putting the alarm clock. And many people think that 9 hours is very long to sleep, which isn't true. There's a lot of people that really need those 9 hours a night to be very well rested the next day and to have enough energy to do all the things they want or need to do during that day. So if you're one of those people that need 9 hours or maybe even 10 or 11 a night to get rested well, then go for it. Do that, because that's what you need. And you should listen to what you need. You shouldn't listen to what other people say. 6 hours of sleep a night is enough, or 7 hours is enough. If that's not enough for you, it's not enough. You really need to listen to your body. If you need to sleep long, sleep long. I do that. I'm very strict with that. And I do that because if I have not rested well, then I am tired all day. I feel like drunk because I get dizzy. I cannot communicate well. So it doesn't make sense for me to sleep less or go to bed later or put my alarm clock very early to wake up and do a lot of things in the morning. Doesn't make sense for me, because then the rest of the day I won't feel well. And other people won't enjoy my company either, and I won't be able to teach well, and my classes won't be enjoyable. So it doesn't make sense if I wouldn't do that. So for me, that's one of the most important things. And I don't really see that in methods. I don't see methods telling you sleep the time that you want, sleep the amount of hours that you want or that you need. It's like you wake up at 5 in the morning, then you do half an hour of exercise, then you do half an hour of studying or reading, then you drink your coffee and you eat your breakfast, and then you're off to work. Well, you know what? If I would do that, it wouldn't work for me. I would burn out very, very fast. So really consider that. What do you need? So that's the first thing. I sleep well. I make sure I get my rest in all night. And if I hadn't slept well because of having very strong dreams or very adventurous dreams or whatever's happening in my dreams, then and I wake up and I feel that I'm still exhausted, I just sleep a little bit more. I just close my eyes again and I sleep a little bit more. And then when I wake up, I'm good, and I'm good for the rest of the day. Then, then depending on the time I have, like if I woke up earlier, I have days that I wake up 5:30 in the morning and I'm fully rested, and it's perfectly fine. That's good. So I get up, and then I first meditate, and then after the meditation, I do some yoga. And after the yoga is when I start making my breakfast. And usually I take a juice, and celery juice, which is very, very healthy for your body. And with that, I'm good to start my day. And sometimes the yoga, I will do it 10 minutes. Another day I can do it half an hour. Another day I do it 1 hour. And on the days that I have needed to sleep more, then I won't do my yoga. And maybe I do my meditation only 5 minutes. Or maybe I don't even do it because there's not enough time for it because I need to go and work. So it really, really depends on how much I slept, how do I feel, what do I need in the moment. And that works for me. So doesn't mean that that works for everybody, because some people really need the specific structure with the specific times, and then they're doing perfectly well. So if that's you, then do that. But if that doesn't work for you, then be more flexible with yourself. Because if you didn't do the meditation today and the yoga today, don't worry about it. There's another day and you can do it tomorrow, because what you did is you really listen to what your body needed. There's a difference between being tired and lazy as well, by the way. So it's not about being lazy. It's about really listening to if you need rest or not. And if you need the rest, then get that rest, because that will do you well. And that will prevent diseases, or if you're having any kind of disease, it will help you heal. Because if you're stressed out all the time, or you're moving, or you're on the go all the time, then you're activating the parasympathetic nervous system, which means that you're in fight, flight, or hide mode. And that means you're active the whole time. You're in survival mode. And that means that your body is stressed and your mind is stressed, which doesn't work for anybody, because chronic stress causes diseases, causes burnout, and all of that. So the other thing, which is more specifically for athletes, for example, as I've been an athlete for more than 15 years and professional, I used to train a lot. But there was a big difference to when I was training in the Netherlands to when I came to Peru. So in the Netherlands, I was studying and working as well at the same time. So my training was 1 or 2 hours a day, which was more than enough. And actually at that time it was already too much, because I was also studying and working. So I didn't have that much time to rest, like really rest, apart from sleeping. But then in Peru, I needed to train 4 to 5 hours a day, about 2 hours in the morning and 2 hours in the afternoon. So first of all, I needed to start training at 7 in the morning, which was actually too early for me. My body wasn't activated by that time. My body activates around 9 in the morning. So I actually needed to train later, but that was not my decision, unfortunately. And then in between trainings, we had like 4 hours of rest, and those 4 hours of rest for me meant 1 hour of driving back home and to the gym. That meant going to the market, buying my groceries. That meant cooking. That meant eating and doing the dishes, and maybe sleeping about 30 minutes if I had the luck to sleep for 30 minutes, and then go back to training again. So what happened to my body is that I actually got burned out, and I never acknowledged it. I never gave it attention. I just kept going. But I got anemia because obviously I wasn't resting enough. So if you're not resting enough, your body cannot absorb the minerals and nutrients that your body receives through food, which can cause anemia as well. It's not just because you're not eating enough, or you're vegetarian or vegan. It doesn't only have to do with that. There are a lot of more factors to that. So for me, that was a big factor. So I was tired literally all the time, and I would still be training as hard as I could. and I would look at my teammates who would sleep maybe 6 hours a night, and they would be stronger than I was. And I would still sleep my 9 hours a night. I was always very strict with that. But I would see that they were stronger, and they could like hold up the whole training. Even though they slept a lot less, they would have a very different lifestyle. And I would think like, okay, maybe I'm just weak, my body is weak, or whatever, I'm not capable of training in that way. But over time I understood that I'm simply different, and I asked as well, like, can we train less? I don't see why we need to train 4 or 5 hours a day. I think it's too much. And for me, it was too much, which once again doesn't mean it's too much for everybody. But that's why it's so important to look at your individuality. So the same goes for coaches. If you're a coach and you're teaching, in this case, fighters, then really consider that every fight is different. And you cannot teach every fighter in the same way, because one fighter might have enough with a little bit of rest and a lot of hard training and can do fine, but another fighter will get burned out because of that and actually needs to train less but higher intensity, for example, but rest more. So it's really, really important to look at those factors. And that's why I'm saying that don't look at the methods. Don't look at methods that tell you you need to do this and this and this way. And that's the only way, or that is the best way. It's not. Look at how many methods in the world exists for anything. Like for psychology, for coaching, for training, for resting, for eating, for any kind of thing, there are methods. And everybody says that their method is the best and their method is the best way to work with. Well, it's true for them. Doesn't mean that it's true for you. So really, really stick to what you need and try to find out what you need and how you function in the best way possible for you. Not following the social structure or what is expected of you, because you might not be able to live up to those expectations because this is not the way you are. So really try to find that out. Try to find out, how do you work? How do you function? How much rest do you need? What kind of food is actually good for your body? What kind of exercise works well for you? What type of nature do you enjoy? Do you enjoy the sea? Do you enjoy the mountains? Do you enjoy the woods, the jungle? Really find out where are you most comfortable and start working with that. If you don't know how to do that, or it's difficult for you to find out, then you can contact me. I do coaching sessions online, and I can definitely help you with that and try to help you to find your best lifestyle that you love and that you can really enjoy your life and love yourself. Thank you very much. Any questions, please leave them below in the comments and I will answer them, and I'll see you next time with another video.